Not really what you want to see in the garage, taking up your spot. But, you know, like I said, fathering never ends. One of these days I'll get back to playing with that thing. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to do a little different video. Got a call while I was at work today. My son's car, 2005 Scion TC, is making some crazy sounds when he turns the steering wheel. And so tonight, looks like I'm replacing the power steering pump on this. So let's get started. On the Scions, there is, I'm blowing out the camera here. There's a spot right here in the front that you can jack up the whole front end. We're going to jack up the whole front end, then I'll jack stands on each side and get up underneath there and look. I got a feeling it's either the rack and pinion or the power steering pump. My guess is hopefully the power steering pump, but then again, I don't know. Never done one of these. In case, with this being a front wheel drive car, you really need to chalk the back wheels. It's really dark back here, but I got a wheel chalk. Keep that back end from rolling. Okay, so I got the car jacked up as high as I can really feel comfortable doing it. And I think maybe as far as my jack will go, but secure, or like your jacking point here. So you need to get jack stand on this side of the car. Same spot over there, about where those rubber boots are at. So I'll go over there and put the jack stand in over there. Get this wheel off and see if I can find this power steering pump and get it off there. All right, so I need to be in this area here with my body because it's up in here, and with that here is not going to allow it. So what I've done is I got a jack stand in the front, jack stand over there. I'll go ahead and jack this side up, get this jack stand moved over, and then I'll move the car a little bit, feel how stable it is. Leave the jack just below the frame pinch seam. I feel like definitely pretty good. So we replaced this alternator just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and in the process trying to pull the belt tensioner, snapped off the little head for the socket that allows the belt tensioner to move back and forth. So because we did that, I'm gonna have to loosen up the alternator, essentially just take the alternator off to be able to get the belt off. Alright, so you can almost see, well, I guess you can kind of see the broken off piece that I broke off. Alright, so to get the alternator off, this bolt right here goes all the way through. It's a 14mm socket that takes that off. And then the hard one, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you because you can barely see it. Just barely see it anyways. But it is down underneath this pulley, down below it. Alright, so I think this is going to be virtually impossible to record and actually get the job done. Not seeing any good way to set this up. So, man, this is going to suck. So the hardest part about this job is there's a bolt here that goes here, and there's a bolt that goes here. The only way to access them is through the pulley, here and here. Well, there's so little room between this pulley and the frame that you can get a socket in here, but I had to modify a deep well 15mm to allow me to get through here and my ratchet. Alright, so kind of what I had to do is I took a 15mm and I cut it. Probably close to here. This isn't a 15, I couldn't find the socket. But I cut it about here. That way I could get through here, right, and get the bolt out. Well, you also have to have enough clearance between here and the frame to get the screw off. So I had to make my own socket. Couldn't find anything for it. All right, so I'm finally done with the power steering pump, and now it's time to bleed the system. But what I'm doing is, with the ignition to accessory, I'm turning the steering wheel to where it pushes fluid through the system, which will cause the bubbles to pop up from here. And you Toyota and Scion guys will notice that the fluid is not pink or red. The store only had this max life high mileage, and it looked like it was red through the bottle. Was not, but it says it's for Toyota, so that's what I went with. I flushed out all the red stuff, and now it's just all clear. Continue to do this until you see no more bubbles coming out. It can take a long time if you don't have any kind of vacuum system to suck it out, but you can do it the manual way. Alright, so this one is from the driver's door side, at the window down, and you'll be able to see what I see. Alright, so I finally got the son's car done, and he took it back to college for a couple days. It sounds loud when you first start it up. It goes away quickly. He says it's starting to quiet down, or the time that the noise is there is going down. So I believe that the bubbles are the air is working itself out as he's driving. So what I'm going to show you is what I had to replace, and explain to you kind of what I had to do to get it to where I could finally bleed it. So his power steering reservoir was pretty, actually ended up being pretty clogged up. This hose, the supply line to the power steering pump, was real hard and couldn't even hardly move it. So the factory connectors here, I don't have any out here, but I ended up replacing it with a regular style hose clamp here and down on the bottom, and we ended up having to pull this off because it ran dry. It pulled all that gunk in here and it settled in the bottom, and when it settled in the bottom, it plugged up this and wasn't allowing any of the, well, I don't want to say any, wasn't allowing very much fluid to come through here. So we pulled this off, blew it out coming from this way, simple green inside here, shook it up real good, got it nice and clean. Then we started getting better flow coming out, and put the new hose on, turn the steering wheel back and forth a couple times, or probably about 10 times with it running and with it out, and it sounds good. We have power steering again. Like I said, he's having an issue with that startup. It's loud, it kind of whines for a second, but then it goes away. So we're getting there. So this is the hose that we replaced that comes out of the reservoir down the back and then comes right into the pump. This hose is really hard. I can't squeeze it. So feel that the ends weren't allowing the hose clamp to get a good clamp on it, allowing it to suck air in. So we replaced this with a roughly 2.5 foot, 3 foot section of 5/8 heater hose, just straight hose, and just rerouted it to where it wouldn't, didn't have any nasty bends on it. Thanks for watching. This isn't going to be a typical kind of video. I prefer to try to keep it Jeep related, like that over there. I'm going to get back to that, but figured it was a good time to try to get another video out of me doing some simple repairs. Although this didn't really show a good simple repair because it wasn't simple. It was very hard to record. So in the end, it's not really a terrible job to do. It's a little time consuming. The only thing I've seen on YouTube about it, the guy said it takes 3 hours. Not sure how he got that. He does have a lift. That does help. I do not have a lift. And with it being my first time, it looked like he was actually a mechanic at a shop and he's probably done it multiple times. But in the end, it is definitely something you can do on your own in your garage. It just takes a little time. Can't be afraid to get your hands dirty either. So with that, that's it. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't, well, let me know what I'm doing wrong. Help me out.